Well, hello there. So, for the content that you have on your website, your business website, did you just write that content once and put it up there and forgot about it? Well, that's probably not the best strategy. One of the things that you're going to want to do is refresh that content because it gets old, it gets stale, things change regularly. You want to make sure that you keep it up to date. So, you need a strategy to do that. I have, in this past year, focused more on this strategy and I'm doing a lot of backfilling. But there's two people that I want to point out. One is Paula Wilson in her book, that Master Content Strategy. She talks about the first year, you're really into content development on your website. And then after that, you should be doing some content development, but also refresh. And then later, you also need to do repurposing in different formats. Darren Rouse, who writes the podcast or is on the podcast Pro Blogger, he gave ideas for a strategy that I have somewhat taken on for my own personal self. And I just want to talk to you a little bit about how I do that. So, first of all, understand that I'm woefully behind because I tried to tackle too much at one time, but here is the basic gist of it. So, in here, what I've done is I've gone back to my website and annotated how many blog posts that I have for each of these blogs. And I have two blogs running here. And so right now I'm working on, for my personal blog, I'm sifting through January, trying to get caught up and bring those up to speed. I'm a lot closer with my business blog, and I need to go in there and just finish that up. It's just getting. I have some periods of time coming up that I'm going to do that. But anyways, basically, this is kind of where I check things off. So once I have reviewed those 5 particular blog posts, then I will go ahead and update the color, and we'll do that until all of them are filled out, basically. And then I'll clear it and we'll start again. So in July, I'll be starting to work back on these. So hopefully I can get caught up, but otherwise I need to focus on those. So where I get those particular blog posts is here, for example, is my site. So right now, I would be looking at March, and in March I have 27, 28 different blog posts that I need to update. So I would go in and go back as far as I possibly can, look at March, click on March and filter that on my website. And that will give me all the blog posts that happen to be related to that period of time. And so I would normally open up those into new tabs, and things that I'm looking for in those particular blog posts are some of the like style guide, making sure that, every letter is capitalized as appropriate for a title case. And then in the blog post itself, one of the things I want to make sure is I have this more separator, which causes somebody to click to see more. After that, I'm looking to make sure that I'm using adequate headers in my post, using imagery, videos, and a variety of things like that. Then at the very bottom, in my posts, I normally link back to different posts that I've had that are related to this. So in this case, it's talking about Post Planner. And so I've used a Post Planner. I've used Meet Edgar. I'm now using SmarterQ. And so I would go ahead and link to those various posts in here as additional reading, so I can link, so I can increase kind of the stickiness on the site, that I'm trying to get people to stay on my website, look at the different content, and see how it applies. Further down, I may put in an excerpt to my site, look at these various things, trackbacks, pings, and also look at my Yoast SEO to see if I can improve this. So in here, it indicates that I am using the key phrase far too much. So I may want to dial back on that. That I should also use it, in my H1 tags or other different ways that I can improve that. In my readability, it tells me I have 3 sentences starting with the same word. So there's areas that I can certainly improve in the writing of that particular post, and that I would go and look how I can improve upon it. Another thing that I have is I'm running a program called Grammarly, which looks at various grammar and spell checking. And when I initially wrote this, I wasn't using Grammarly, and I thought I had it all put together, and I wrote a good post. But in this case, value added, they're suggesting a hyphen, so I'm going to add the hyphen for value added comments, and that will clear that particular item up. If I was using the paid version, it would tell me a lot more about how I can fix that particular post. Other things that I want to make sure of, that I have an image, my featured image. I can also, because I'm using social warfare, that I can also use various posts for my Pinterest image. Add that and add a description that I can be using for Pinterest. So that is probably not going to be in this round, but as I start getting to my July posts, because I've already looked at those once and I'm going to do, another look, update the links, that maybe I'll start working on those Pinterest images in order to enhance it that way. So you don't have to do everything at once. You can start doing it step by step and to increase this. So one of the other tools that I use is called Asana. And in Asana, I have a list of reoccurring tasks, and I've set this to repeat. So once I've completed all those January articles and reviewed them, I will check it off as being done, and it will then reset the counter to 1 January 2020. And as you can see, I have July's articles coming up. So this is in my things to do tasks that keep me aware of what's going on. So Darren Rouse, he basically, when he talked about the refresh options, that if you are posting to your website, let me get to a list here. If you're creating a new post for the week, then you may want to look at anniversary posts, any other posts that were done on the same day, and just kind of update them and refresh them, and just keep making them better. So another part of this is you may end up combining posts, and that if you start combining posts, that means you're going to start deleting posts. Before you delete the post, one of the things that you're going to want to do is use a redirection. So I have a redirection tool in my WordPress. And if, and for example, I have some pages and I have a warning, I have to go check that out. But this category, page 2, that I'm pointing to business strategies. So these are, this is to help people get to the page. So if I combine pages, I'm going to make sure that I have the old page listed and then have what the new page is going to be, or where I want them to go for the newest information. So that's really important. So something to kind of keep in mind. So that is a little bit about content refresh. It's actually an important uh, piece of the puzzle that you have. If you are putting content out there, it's important to go back, make sure that it's still accurate, still usable, still useful for your business. Combine things, make things stronger. Kind of figure out those keywords and own the market on those keywords, and just keep plugging along. There's always something to do to make it better. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to, create the perfect blog post right out the gate. You can come back to it and keep making adjustments and tweaks to it, as long as it's, serving your audience. So if you like this, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Comments would help. Anything that I can do to any topic that you want me to investigate, I'd happy to do that. Feel free to subscribe. I really appreciate